and welcome to the second video of today. In this episode of the Sister Baby Show, we'll be talking about a new podcast that is blowing up the trans community, and that is the Men Like Us podcast. And what is the Men Like Us podcast? The Men Like Us podcast is a podcast created and hosted by Christopher Patterson. You can check him out on Facebook, and you can check out his podcast, the Men Like Us podcast, on Facebook. And the thing that has a lot of the people upset is because the podcast is about trans amorous men and their perspective on the trans community, right? And I wanted to do this video because I see a lot of my trans sisters upset about this podcast, and I just want them to understand that their podcast has very little to do with us as trans women, more so to do with how they feel about the trans community from their outsider, hetero, cisgender opinion of the women that they date in the community that they are a part of. Um, that's one thing I wanted to say to the ladies that trans attractive men are definitely a part of this community, whether we want to admit it or not, or whether we want to acknowledge it or not. Um, yes, we have a lot of trans sisters and trans brothers who date other trans people. But the majority of trans women and trans attractive, sorry, the majority of trans women and trans men date the opposite gender of who they see themselves as. What I mean by that, I mean most trans women date straight cisgender men. Most trans men date straight cisgender women. So it's not fair for us to sit there and say that these people are not a part of this community when so clearly they are. They are an important part of this community because they are our spouses, they are our lovers. They um, know and understand us on a deeper level than even sometimes some trans people know each other because they are intimate with us. You know, they get our deepest emotions, right? A lot of the times when we're sitting up there acting like everything is all good with us, in society to other trans people, we tell our lovers, we tell our mates how we truly feel. So I do think it's very important that this podcast exists, and I hope they have other conversations. I hope they allow trans women on today's show, other than Hope Giselle, to talk about certain things because I feel like this is a necessary movement. What I would like the men of this podcast to understand or to try to take some empathy for is that a lot of girls aren't used to seeing men in this light. A lot of girls aren't used to seeing men using their voices to express anything other than sexual gratification for trans women. So it's going to be a little bit of a backlash. But I just want you brothers to understand that just hold strong with that little bit of backlash because I don't think it's a permanent thing. I just think it's a just for right now until the community gets past where we're at in the community. Now, the reason why I did want to hold this conversation is because you guys did a podcast, I believe Friday, maybe third. I don't know. I think you guys do it Friday. I think either Thursday or Friday is when they do their lives. But you know, it's on their Facebook page, so you can always catch them. And I think they have a YouTube channel too. So check out their YouTube channel, Men Like Us Podcast. And what the thing that I have the biggest issue about the last show that you guys had was that there was a part of the conversation that you guys were having about one of the things, one of the biggest issue in the community is the trade or the down low men and the women liking the down low men, and that's a huge downfall to the trans community, right? And I just would like to push back on that point because my pushback to that point, and I have yet to find a man to um, disagree or to be able to push back on this point intelligently and not lie and not make up some shit, is that the same way you men say that, when I say this, I say the same way the men say the girls like the trade, I say the men like the sex workers and the escorts. And there's nothing wrong with being a sex worker. There's nothing wrong with being an escort, right? If you are a man who are attracted to trans women and you're seriously looking for a relationship, you're seriously looking for a woman to date or possibly marry, why are you looking into that with a sex worker? Is almost the same thing as saying with the girls with trade. Like, she's in this life about making her money. She's in this life about doing what she has to do to get her money. Why would she be loyal? And then you guys be like, oh my God, she's just a gold digger. She just used, yes, because you know what she was before she entered into the relationship. She was a sex worker. She was about getting her money. She was a gold digger. So I don't understand. And then the next point is the men hit me with this is, well, the sex workers, they be more attractive and they have the titties and the ass and the stuff that we like as men. And then I hit you all with well, a lot of the girls say a lot of you openly trans attracted men are kind of ugly. So the street trade or whatever be the type of men the girls are attracted to, and you tell the girls all the time, you should not just be interested in people that just because of attraction. It has to be beyond an attraction, right? And I hit the men up with the same exact thing. Shouldn't your interest in a girl be beyond the physical looks, right? It shouldn't be beyond an attraction. Shouldn't it be a deeper physical connection? And I don't understand how some of you guys feel like you gonna find this deeper connection outside of the physical with some of these girls that are purely about their coin. I just don't. Thank God I'm out of this dating pool shit. Thank God that I'm happily married and this ain't my life. But it's just like men like us in shows like this, y'all always want to start in the middle, right? I was a single girl for 36 years of life, right? I didn't meet my husband until I was 36, in the last half of that 36 part of years too. And you can't. I mean, you can do whatever you want to. You just can't have serious, deep conversations by starting in the middle. You can't say, "Well, why do girls always like the thugs and the trade and the sex workers?" Without saying that the girls have no education. The girls was put out of their house. The girls have low self-esteem. The girls have dysphoria, right, and all of that. They are attracted to men who makes them feel more feminine, right? And a lot of the time, the men who make them feel more feminine are the thugs and the trades and the drug dealers and the DL men and so on and so forth. So instead of a lot of y'all doing what needs to do to make the girls feel secure and financially stable, y'all be like, oh no, go do your OnlyFans, girl. Oh no, I ain't taking care of this. Oh no, I ain't doing that. Oh no, I ain't doing that. Oh no, I ain't paying that. Oh no, I ain't never moving no girl into my house. This is my house. Why can't she have her own house? Then we just live separately. Like you all want the trans women, but y'all don't want to take the responsibility of being the head in a relationship with a trans woman. You want to be like, want to find the most visually appeasing trans woman, but keep doing your sex work, girl. Keep doing that. Yeah, go get your hormones however you feel to do, because I ain't finna pay for it. And then it's just like, but then yeah, then because guess what? Yeah, the trade is some bullshit, but the trade will pay for it. The trade will pay for it. If the trade wants you to have some bigger titties, the trade will pay for it. But how are you, as a man who wants to be in a relationship with a trans woman, and you want your wife to have bigger boobs, but you won't do what you need to do as a man to help her get the bigger boobs? And then you tell her, get it from the street. Go out there and fuck them niggas to get the titties that you want. Then you be like, oh, why she left me for the niggas that pay for her? Because you set your life up like that. You set your relationship up like that. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying it's a double-sided coin that you guys can't just start in the middle when you have these conversations, because you guys be in the same groups that I be in. You guys be around these. Like, let me tell you something. I'm almost 40. I done been around some of you guys for damn near 20 years in some of these same groups, right? And we keep having the same conversations. You don't want to pay for a girl's transition. You want the girl to always already come established. But yet, you as a man always go for the broken sex workers, youngins. How are you damn near 60, but all the girls that you try to talk to are 19, 20? You purposely are going after some broken ass girls so you can have control and dominance over her. It's just when some of you men, and it's not all of you men, I'm not saying all, I'm not even saying the Men Like Us podcast as a whole. I just hope that's made clear. I'm just saying some of the people that talk on the show, I'm just rebutting some of those points. I'm not talking about the show as a whole. You can't start this conversation in the middle. It's a very deep, wholehearted conversation that both sides need to take both equal responsibility. Yes, no, the girls cannot just be running, can't just be chasing the nigga for his check, right? The girls just can't be gold digging. But if we're going back to traditional, because a lot of you men say you are very traditional, and you guys say you aren't religious either. So if we're going to traditional black relationship, the men work, the women didn't. The men bring home all the money. I'm not talking about biblical relationships. I'm talking about traditional relationships that a lot of people say you won't, but you're not willing to do that. You don't want a traditional relationship. Damn sure a traditional relationship isn't having your girlfriend out here popping dates and pulling tricks to take care of her basic shit. So I just hope that this point is wrong up. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying that anybody's right. I'm just saying for me, when I met my husband, I had to put aside a whole bunch of that childish ass mindset to the side. And that's that. My husband didn't want no broken girl. I don't feel like I'm everybody's kind of broken. I'm not that broken. So I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Please like, share, and comment. I'm gonna tag the Men Like Us podcast on this video. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.